Welcome to Resource Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. It's Friday, so we're going to do another video of You Can't Make This Stuff Up, news from across America. Joe Biden is asking Congress for emergency relief to Ukraine to the tune of $10 billion taxpayer dollars. The reason he's asking for $10 billion is to help Ukraine secure its borders while currently being invaded by Russia. You can't make this stuff up. At the same time, we are losing $6 million a day. This administration is costing us $6 million a day by paying contractors not to finish the wall, which materials have already been bought and paid for, are sitting on the ground and rusting and being stolen. And in that $6 million, we're paying companies to secure the materials that are not being used. So Sleepy Joe wants to spend $10 billion to give to Ukraine to help secure their borders, which have already been overrun by Russian military, and yet we're losing $6 million a day by not finishing the wall. Can't make this stuff up. Two Democratic senators, Jeanine Shaheen, a Democrat from New Hampshire, and Senator Mark Warner, Democrat from Virginia, both, in my opinion, are about as dumb as a box of rocks. If you ever hear them speak or get the opportunity to watch them, you watch how their intelligence works. It doesn't. Both back a bill banning Russian importation of oil. So they want to block importing Russian oil, which is 10% of it, to punish Putin. On the other hand, they're saying that the U.S. oil companies are deliberately holding back on refining more oil to keep the prices artificially high and oppose more offshore drilling, issuing more leases, completing the XL pipeline, and not drilling in Alaska. But it's the oil refineries company not producing to their maximum. So they want to penalize the oil companies. Can't make this stuff up. White House opposes the ban on importing Russian oil per Peppermint Patty Jen Psaki. She says that White House opposes a ban on importing Russian oil as a way to punish Putin. Instead, Americans, it's our fault, folks, it's our fault. This is how they think. Instead, Americans should reduce their reliance on fossil fuels. So they want to push us into electric cars, commuter railways, and everything else. And they want $8 a gallon gas to punish us for being reliant on fossil fuels for the climate change and Green New Deal. Told you it was coming. I did prior videos on this. So they're not in favor of banning Russian oil, continuing to pay Russia money to fund their war and punish the American people with higher gas prices. And as of yesterday, I saw $3.79 here in Lorain County. So anyway, the idea, Psaki also mocked the reporter when asked about finishing and opening up the XL pipeline. Psaki also mocked the idea of finishing the Keystone pipeline. It was never operational and would take years to have any effect. This is the same Jen Psaki who is the propagandist for Obama-Biden administration, who opposed the XL pipeline from the get-go and did everything humanly possible to stop and postpone it. And as soon as Joe Biden took office, through executive order, he completely canceled it. So when they say, you know, we feel your pain at the pump and we're doing everything possible, they're lying right to your face. They've opposed it from the get-go. Now from education news, you can't make these things up. Educational news. In New York State Education Department enlisted the help of librarians from across the state to promote new books for kids and learning from grades 1 through 12. One such librarian, named Lauren Moore, promoted Maya Kobabe's book, Gender Queer, a memoir, I'll spit it out sooner or later, a memoir, which features explicit drawings and pictures of teenagers performing oral sex and other acts on one another. When informed of this book by outraged parents, the superintendent of North Kingston High School argued back that the child pornography in the book supports sexual health. Further investigation as to how this occurred and what they're going to do about it is underway. So you got a librarian promoting child porn. The superintendent says, oh, it's just promoting their sexual health. We're okay with it. And yet they've banned and removed Playboy magazines from the shelf of all the schools and libraries as being too pornographic. Can't make this stuff up, folks. This is the state of our education across this country. A Virginia substitute teacher found himself suspended after declaring Vladimir Putin has the absolute right and was correct to invade Ukraine. John Stanton, 65 years old, subbing for an 8th grade Spanish class, spent the first 10 minutes lecturing why Vladimir Putin was absolutely correct and right to invade Ukraine and claim it back to Russia. He also explained to the kids that they should not necessarily rely on one source of American news, but should stretch their mind and expand their resources by listening to other countries' news media outlets, Pravda being one of them, which he happened to be a former writer for. He found himself suspended after kids were complaining about that, and a school teacher found, or a parent of one of the kids found what he was teaching, so he got suspended immediately. An Indiana school teacher was granted early retirement after teaching at Jimstown High School in Elkhart, Indiana for 40 years. A reported video shows him losing his temper and slapping a student across the face, causing injury and throwing him out of class. And the reason he claims he did it was the student was disruptive. That same teacher is now facing assault charges for striking the kid who he claims was being disruptive. You can't make this stuff up, folks. This is what's going on. This is who these people are. They have no regard for morality, parents' rights, or what we as American taxpayers are supporting. You can't make this stuff up. Hope you like it. There's plenty more. I just selected some highlights. There's just so many I could go on all day. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for your comments. Please hit the like button and ring that bell and do whatever you got to do. I appreciate your comments. Please refer this channel to other people who might be interested in it. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized. Greg out.